Hey, I'm Dr. Michael Lange. We want to age as gracefully as possible, don't we? So is there enough evidence out there that proves that certain specific nutrients, ingredients, or supplements can enhance, our skin, our joints, our hair, our nails? And there's a lot of great science that's come out recently with marine collagen tripeptides, riceramides, hyaluronic acid, and there's a new supplement called Dermaval. Well, we've taken all four of those and we've combined it in a supplement called Rejuvenate. 3 delicious flavors, chocolate, cherry vanilla, pink lemonade.
Comes to your health. Are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael P. Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, any nutritionally related topic. I should say it's good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctors. And actually it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what part of the globe you're actually watching or listening to us. We're actually on the Ask the Doctor radio network, coast to coast throughout the United States, and live video streaming all over the world, and all over podcast channels all over the globe as well. And my co-host is Dr. Susan Summerton of the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, and Fortifeye Vitamins. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning, Dr. Lange, and good morning to all our listeners out there. We're excited to present you with information on skin today. I know we're going to be talking about, and of course, answer any questions that you have related to eyes and nutrition. And I'm excited that it's kind of feeling like fall out here today. A nice little coolness in the weather encourages us to get outside and go enjoy some just energy using from your body and some movement. And if you want to take your radio outside, you can do that.
Right. Exercise is so important. You don't have any excuse. It's not that hot today. I almost put a hoodie on and wore it into the studio. And we also have a very welcome guest in the studio with us, and that's Tasha from Fortifeye Vitamins and the Lange Eye Institute. She's the Fortifeye gal. I like to call her that. She goes to all the conferences and helps out in running Fortifeye Vitamins. She's an optician at the Lange Eye Institute. She actually makes the glasses. She fits the glasses. She sells the glasses. She can do just about anything and everything. Tasha, good morning. Welcome to Ask the Doctor.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having me. I'm actually really excited and super nervous to be here, but it's going to be a fantastic show. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning, Natasha. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm excited. I really am. You got some amazing products we're going to be talking about today, so I'm pretty excited.
And Tasha, along with Dr. Summerton, the entire crew and the entire team at the Lange Eye Institute helped make the 20th annual Fall Festival. It was a disco theme last weekend, a huge hit. We really had a big crowd. We gave out a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs, a lot of good food, a lot of music. A lot of people were dancing, tearing up the dance floor. A lot of people had some serious disco moves. I was pretty impressed, Dr. Summerton. Some of these people that I didn't think could get out of their wheelchair were cutting the rug.
I was too. Those villagers, we like to call it. I'm pretty impressed. They actually can be very inspiring and motivating that when they're out there using their muscles, stretching them, and just showing what you can do at any age and have fun while you're doing it. It just is a true inspiration.
Yep. And a lot of them came because they had a really good discount on the Fortifeye Vitamins. And I am pushing that discount through the Fortifeye website. So you guys and gals listening, we have developed a new bundle for you. It's called the Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. It's basically a little over $100. Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. So go to fortifeye.com, go to the bundle section, and you'll see Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. And what it consists of is our vegan super protein, which is got an amino acid profile, that of whey protein, because we added velocitol. It is also, folks, I think the only, or if not the only, one of the only vegan proteins, the country of origin is not China. We get the pea protein sprouted, non-GMO from Canada, and the sprouted barley from United States. And so it does not come from China. Most country of origins for vegan proteins come from China. Right now, in our time of history, I don't really want to support anything coming out of China. So I just don't trust them. That's my only personal opinion, and I can say that on my show. So also, not only does it have the vegan protein, it has the Fortifeye Rejuvenate, which is great for your skin, hair, nails, joints. And lastly, it has the all new creatine, HMB, and vitamin D. So it's a combination of all three of those, which is going to really help. It's an all-in-one nutritional solution to help boost energy, support muscle tone, promote radiant, vivacious skin, keep your joints healthy, and just encourage, vibrant aging. And it's the perfect trio. So think about that. The Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. You can get that at the Lange Institute. You can get it at fortifeye.com. Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater, and the Lange Nutrition Center in Ocala. And by the way, on the 25th of October, I'm going to be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center. So put that on your calendar. On the 25th of October, I will be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center, probably from 1 till 3, maybe 12 to 3, but at least from 1 to 3. So come on out and pick my brain regarding nutrition. Now, Dr. Summerton, you recently had some blood work done and found out that you might have some sensitivities to dairy, right?
I did. I do. I have a gluten intolerance, so I regularly follow up on gut health. And my last blood work that I did actually show that was having some trouble with dairy products, including whey, which was a little very disappointing to me because I love the whey protein shake. But I'm taking a 6-month break and letting my body and my gut recover. And I'll reintroduce it after I blood work again in 6 months. But in the meantime, I'm very happy that I have the vegan alternative protein. And that's actually what I have been doing this morning. I got up, I had the salted caramel mocha. I put in an extra scoop of the Rejuvenate, and I put a scoop of the creatine, my HMB, and I went and did my workout, and it just feels great. And I love the flavor of it. I actually just drink it in my car while I'm driving there. And I'm actually now on recovery just after doing strength training for 50 minutes. I made a chocolate vegan protein. I have that sitting beside me while we're doing the radio show.
And the chocolate vegan protein is really delicious. Salted caramel mocha is still my favorite. And I too, last night, a lot of you realize my brother went through Moffitt's cancer treatment, melanoma surgery last Friday, and he's doing well. He's recovering, but he goes to bed early and he gets up early. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was up, browsing around downstairs, eating some stuff. And so I got up went down and had a high protein breakfast with him. And then I worked out at 4 o'clock in the morning. And after my workout, I had the chocolate the chocolate vegan protein. I had the Rejuvenate, and I had the Pure Creatine Fortifeye. I had all that, shook it up. So I've already had breakfast and a post recovery, and then I went back to bed at like 5:30 and got up at 7:30. So we've already had a big day. Dr. Summerton worked out. I worked out. Tasha was at the beach, and she had a long drive in.
Yep.
But
I'll
you
be
made it.
working out. I'll be working out today. Promise you that.
All right, I'm going to give the phones. We're getting ready to take a phone call. If you got a question, give us a call. It's 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And remember, we are accepting new patients at the Lange Eye Institute, all of us, Dr. Summerton, Dr. Caputi, myself, new patients at the Lange Eye Institute. We're located in the Villages, Florida, right on County Road 101 and 466, across from the high school and next door to Publix and CVS. It's a large plantation-looking building you'd see on the Mississippi River. State-of-the-art eye care center. We've got about 30 examination rooms. We got plenty of room for all of our doctors and our technicians and our staff, our scribes, our opticians, our optical salespeople. We got a great team there. And remember, we got a few deals going on right now. Don't we have a special lens deal?
We do. You can get frames and lenses for $90. So say you want to get a backup pair, second pair, a ride around, so you don't mess up the cool glasses that you just bought at our show recently, or that you're going to be purchasing. Yep, $99, single vision, reading, distance. You can get them for your computer if you like. So it's a really great deal.
Right. And we also have the blue light defense and the blue light shield lenses. These are clear lenses that block the harmful blue light. So those of you that are on a computer a lot, think about blue light defense, blue light shield. It's exclusive through the Lange Eye Institute. This is a blue filtering lens that protects your macula against the harmful blue light. It really helps you sleep because it's not telling the pineal gland to stop secreting melatonin. But we want to protect that retina. We want to protect the retina from the harmful blue light, especially from the cell phone and the computer. And I think, Dr. Summerton, there's more and more evidence that blue light Summerton.
I lost you there for a second. I didn't hear.
Yeah,
I know
we
you
were
started talking about
blue light a little bit, and I was just saying, blue light, we're all in front of a digital screen throughout the day, whether it's our iPhone, our iPad, the television. It's mostly the phone, though. The closer it is, the more potential harm. So blue light has potential to aggravate our retina, our macula, but also interfere with our sleep cycle, doesn't it?
It does. And if you look at it, the way what's happened to our light is similar to what's happened to our food. They become over processed and just steered away from the natural spectrum. And our eyes really like the red light. Our skin really likes the red light. We do need blue light when we wake up in the morning, and which activates our brain to recycle that melatonin and in the pineal gland. But when we don't need the blue light is at night, because if you're on the screen at night, you're going to look at the blue light and it's going to be telling your brain not to release melatonin. And people know melatonin for sleep, but melatonin is actually a very strong natural antioxidant your body makes to heal and repair while you're sleeping. So we want that naturally to be released to stay away from that blue light. Plus, during the day, the screens have excess blue light. So, in order to save money on like energy, they've taken out a lot of the red spectrum because that drains more energy and creates heat. And to keep the brightness, they've added the blue, which gives us excess blue. And again, is kind of an artificial signal to our eyes. And we want to protect it from the inside too with those nutrients, lutein and zeaxanthin. Those nutrients make it all the way into your brain. Your brain takes what it needs first. If there's any left over, it gets stored where it should be, right in the very center of your eye, turns into a little yellow pigment that acts as a natural sunscreen inside your eye to absorb that damaging blue wavelength light. So you do what you can from the outside by controlling your screens, and then what you can on the inside with the lutein and the zeaxanthin.
Right. So ask for blue light defense or blue light shield at the Lange Eye Institute. And then also either eat a lot of eggs, believe it or not, orange bell peppers, dark green leafy vegetables, pistachios. These are all high in zeaxanthin and lutein. Wild Alaskan salmon is high in astaxanthin. So you can eat those foods, or you can take a vitamin, a carotenoid like Fortifeye Focus or Fortifeye Focus and Brain. It has the lutein, the zeaxanthin isomers, the astaxanthin, as well as the cognizine in the focus and brain. So you can always eat the foods, take the supplements, and you can always wear the filtering mechanisms, some sort of blue filtering coating or lens monomer. The good thing about blue light defense and blue light shield lenses, the actual coating is not a coating. The blue blocking properties are in the monomer of the material, and it's not a coating. We're getting ready to go to the phones, but a lot of coatings, they can come off, can't they?
They can. They can. A lot of times too, it depends on the coating that you have as far as the quality. So not everything, excuse me, is created equal, especially with anti-glares. So the better the anti-glare, the better quality you'll have, the better warranty you'll have, the less opportunity for it to come off the lenses.
Absolutely. And any of the lenses that you get at the Lange Eye Institute, remember, they're backed by warranties depending on what coating you have. Some have a 1-year warranty, some have a 2-year warranty against scratching. So come on by the Lange Eye Institute if you're interested in an exam. Remember, we are taking new patients. And the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute, I'm going to give you it twice, is 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. Remember, October 25th, I will be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center. Also, before we take the next call, Steve, be patient. I want to mention the Ocala Health and Wellness Festival, or the Ocala Health and Wellness Expo, is here again. Seems like just yesterday we were there, and that's at the World Equestrian Center, and it's next weekend. Ocala Health and Wellness Expo at the Ocala Equestrian Center. Fortifeye Vitamins will be there. Tasha will be there. Mary will be there. I might be there. What time is that event?
It is going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we're going to be in center number 2.
Center number 2. All right, 10 to 3.
10 to 3.
All right.
I'll be there.
Let's go to the phone. Steve in Clearwater, good morning. Thanks for holding, my friend.
Yes. Do you like the cool weather?
I love the cool weather. I don't like cold weather. I like cool weather.
Okay. And this is my yearly time to remind everybody that this is a good time to start a diet because the temperature will help burn calories. And it's a perfect time. You have about 4 months opportunity to or maybe 5 to lose weight and have the cooler weather help you, wear as little clothes as possible, as little as you can get by with. And that's the way it goes. Also, it's the fall, and that's called fall because the temperatures fall and the leaves fall. Well, I thought what we would do today is give you a short list of all the things we want to fall. If you get on Dr. Lange's diet and follow the words of Dr. Lange and Dr. Summerton, your weight will fall, your inflammation factors will fall, your rate of sarcopenia will fall, the pain in your joints will fall, the interocular pressure will fall, the risk of stroke and heart attack will fall, your medical costs for long-term chronic problems will fall,
Wow.
your rate of depression will fall, and the incidence of cold and flu will fall. And one thing we don't want to do with the word fall is we don't want you to fall. But if you do all these things that Dr. Lange wants you to do in nutrition and lifestyle, if you do fall, you'll say, I've fallen, but I got right up. I got right up. I'm so healthy, I got right up. So it's not I'm fallen and I can't get up like the old commercial. It's fallen and I got right up.
That's a pretty good segment. I got to admit, Steve, this is something that people can relate to.
Yeah.
The fall. Yeah. I wonder,
Yeah,
and there's less depression when you lose weight. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
And there's a direct link with protein and depression we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Well, tyrosine, the amino acid tyrosine forms adrenaline and epinephrine, and the amino acid tryptophan causes serotonin, and those are the basic of a lot of antidepressants. And and I think too, when you get into winter, it can kind of go the opposite way because you get that seasonal affective disorder. But yeah, there's a lot of things that affect it. So that's my 3 minutes for this week, and I'm glad your brother's doing better, and that's super. And keep us in touch.
Thank you, Steve. You
Okay,
have a great
God
fall.
bless you.
All right. Bye-bye. Anyway, you're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Susan Summerton, myself, Dr. Michael Lange, and our not Dr. Tasha, and Tasha's here as well. If you got a question for any of us, give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Dr. Summerton, let's talk a little bit about the whole protein segment and protein for women and men and the risk of depression. I think there's some direct evidence that if you have decreased protein intake, amino acids, so amino acid deficiency, not getting enough dietary protein, that you're going to be more depressed. And there's some evidence now that I think supports that dietary protein and increasing your dietary protein may work as good as antidepressants for helping depression. Now, don't stop your antidepressants and just pound the protein until you talk to your doctor. But there's some interesting data that shows this, and there's some percentages and all. And I think you were the one that linked me up with this not too long ago.
It is, and it's really come into light a little bit more in the media how much protein is related to just the use of all the GLP drugs, where people are actually not eating enough protein
Mhm.
and the side effects that come from that. We've talked a lot about the sarcopenia and the muscle loss, but there's also depression that goes along with that. And Steve kind of segued into it with talking about what is in protein. Proteins are amino acids. And so depression isn't just like that chemical balance, it can be about not getting enough dietary protein, especially that tryptophan, which is one of the amino acids in protein. They even had a clinical trial of doing 3 grams a day of tryptophan, and it worked just as well as one of the antidepressants, amitriptyline, which is Elavil. When they combined both, that actually improved the results, and it also reduced side effects. And we know that tryptophan supports that serotonin production naturally. That's that hormone that makes you feel good. And some of these antidepressants will actually block that serotonin reuptake, and then it can cause a deficiency elsewhere. And again, we're not saying please don't stop your antidepressant without talking to your doctor. And it's not something you can suddenly stop, it's something you need guidance with, but it's to look at what you're eating, how many grams of protein you're having in your diet to make sure. So you're looking at the meat, you're looking at the eggs, you're looking at your dairy, you're looking at the legumes, seeing what is in your diet throughout the day to make sure you increase that total protein, which will increase your tryptophan, which will increase that serotonin, also the dopamine, and even the melatonin in your body. And there's even other amino acids that is in the protein that also help from mood regulating, all those neurotransmitters that cross your brain. And the other data shows that for each 10% increase in your calories from protein, that's a 40% lower depression risk. And
Wow.
that's a huge
Amazing.
benefit of making sure you get it. So it is something you have to just be aware of throughout the day. And when you're making that choice at breakfast, are you going to choose that bagel? Or are you going to choose those eggs? Or even you're going to have a piece of meat, whatever is good for you and enhances those taste buds. You want to make sure it includes some protein in a balanced diet, because then we can get into talking about how making sure you have the B vitamins because that helps convert. But
Mhm.
again, it's all about getting that balanced diet so it gives your body the fuel to not only your body function better, but your brain function better too. And we want it to affect your mood. We want you to feel better, have less brain fog, have less
Mhm.
hair loss, have less fatigue. What's Steve also said about those falling rates of those things that we don't want. Whatever it is, your inspiration, look at that to make those positive changes.
Mhm.
And that's an amazing number that Dr. Summerton brings up. Think about it. Data shows that a 10% increase in calories from protein reduction in depression risk. So pound the protein. To take a scoop of our Fortifeye vegan super protein or our whey super protein or our whey protein isolate, take a scoop of that. You can make a smoothie. You can just put it in water and shake it up. Or, I like to take the vanilla super protein or the vanilla vegan protein, put a banana and a pineapple and just blend it together and drink it down. So now you're getting the antioxidants from the fruit and you're getting the protein. So remember, pound the protein. Everybody needs more protein. And I think in that same study, they were saying the average woman should consume a minimum of 118 grams of protein, minimum. And the average man, 156 grams of protein. And we're
Wow.
not talking collagen protein. So collagen protein is just an added bonus. Do not use collagen protein as your grams per protein because it's not a complete protein. It doesn't have the tryptophan in it. So that's just beneficial. If you're going to take another 10 to 20 grams of collagen protein, don't factor that in as your grams. So women, 118 grams at a minimum, and men, 156 grams. But Dr. Summerton and I always like to preach that if you're very active and you're working out a lot, just get a gram per pound of body weight, a gram per pound of body weight. And also, this is going to help you lose weight. Like Dr. Summerton mentioned, instead of having that bagel or those colorful cereals or that toast, the hash browns, the waffle, the pancakes, have an egg omelet, have some steak, have a protein shake. And this will not only help you with depression, it's going to help build muscle and metabolize fat. And we know that firsthand. Tasha's an example. Tasha, you lost about 50, 60 pounds, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I think it was like 68 is what I've lost in total. And it's completely changing my diet. It's completely changing my entire mindset. I love the vegan super protein. I think it's fantastic. It's easy on my stomach. It has 21 grams of protein, which is insane.
In one scoop?
In one scoop. So, I mean, you can start your day with that. That's what I do. I mix it with my Rejuvenate. I also add the super blue-green superfood in there as well. And then the Fit Pro. So mine's kind of like an all complete is what I like to start my day with. So I got the energy, I got the protein, I got the collagen all in one, and it makes me feel better.
And lately, I've been actually taking the Fortifeye Fit Pro 30 minutes before I work out. And now after I work out, I'm taking the vegan protein because it's longer acting with the Rejuvenate and the new German Creapure Creatine HMB and vitamin D. And now that's giving me 7.5 grams of creatine because we're finding that maybe we would benefit even more from more creatine, not just the old standby of 5 grams. 5 grams is still from muscle and fat loss and energy. But if you want to get more of the cognitive benefits, you go even higher than 5 grams. And folks, I am holding up, we're going to talk about China again today. So I'm holding up the creatine HMB. Now, the new bottles, we got 5,000 bottles coming in about 4 days, are going to be a little smaller. This was a little bit bigger than I wanted, so it only looked half full. There's 30 servings, so we're having a smaller one, so it looks totally full. But it is available. You start ordering it now. It's the Fortifeye Creapure Creatine, My HMB, and Vitamin D, unflavored. You can mix it in with anything you want to get the benefits of these 3 nutrients, a triple whammy against aging and muscle loss. All of you that are on GLP-1 receptor drugs for weight loss should be on this for sure. Or the Fit Pro, the Fortifeye Fit Pro. But remember, when you're looking for creatine, and a couple of people chimed in last week after the show and said that, I said that the only creatine out there that doesn't come from China is Creapure Creatine and Creavitalis. It's the same company. It's just different label. Creavitalis is marketed toward sarcopenia in the aging population. Creapure is marketed toward the younger athletic. Basically, it's the same thing. Very, very little difference. But the gist of this is all creatine, if it doesn't say Creapure or Creavitalis on it, it's made in China. And some people chimed in last week and said, oh, no, that's not right. You're mistaken, Dr. Lange. And so I don't talk about things unless I know what I'm talking about. And so I sent them the evidence and the science, and they sure enough looked at their product. It said made in the USA on it. But when they called the company and asked country of origin for the creatine, they said China. So it can say made in the USA, but each ingredient, you have to look at the COA to see where it comes from. All right. That's my little spiel on Chinese creatine, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Open up the phones. If you got a question, give us a call. 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. Also, a lot of you don't realize that your medical insurance will cover an eye examination. So you're always looking to see who takes your vision plan. Now, we take iMed, we take Spectera, we take VSP, we take all those vision plans. But if you have Medicare or you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, chances are it's going to cover your routine eye exam because you're going to have some sort of medical diagnosis. You're going to have a little dry eye. You're going to have a floater. You're going to have some blepharitis. Chances are your medical insurance is going to cover your eye exam. So come on by the Lange Eye Institute. We always have openings. We take walk-ins. We certainly take emergencies. All of our doctors are amazing, and we can prescribe and treat just about anything and everything. And we have the only dry eye center of excellence in the Villages, Ocala, Gainesville, that also has the OptiLight IPL machine for dry eye, and of course the OptiLift, which these are non-surgical ways of helping you dry eye and giving you an aesthetically appealing look. So come on by the Lange Eye Institute. I'm going to give you the phone number one more time, and then we're going to go to the phones. It's 352-753-4014. 352-753-4014. Also, Christmas gifts, give a gift certificate for Christmas. We give those out at the Lange Eye Institute, don't we, Tasha?
We 100% do.
So give the gift of sight, and you can give them a gift certificate toward their vitamins, toward their glasses, toward examinations, whatever you want. And the Lange Eye Institute can print those up. Not a problem. All right, we're going to the phones. Let's go to Rochelle in Clearwater. Good morning, Rochelle.
Morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, doctors, for everything you do. I just wanted to mention something that I think goes in line with everything you're talking about, but not a lot of people do it or know about it. And actually, it's helped strengthen my vision. It's your pelvic floor. So shockingly to me, a few years ago, or actually last year, I had one of my organs prolapse. And I had no idea how weak my pelvic floor was. And so I think the take on this is balance. I was an extreme athlete. I am a holistic nutritionist. I practice what I preach, but for some reason, I missed going to see a physical therapist that could help strengthen my pelvic floor. And as you know, your pelvic floor is what helps hold up your major organs. Digestion is critical. So I just wanted to kind of speak to that a little bit. A lot of people don't realize that, and they're not sure why they're having some of these problems, with incontinence, etc. Yeah, and I'm 65.
Well,
so it's like, where was I when I went to school? And nobody mentioned this to me. Had I known about it, I would have been all over it.
Right. So I'm going to let Dr. Summerton chime in on this, because she's obviously an avid athlete and she is probably in tune with pelvic floor much more than I am. But I'm going to let her chime in. And 65 is very young. We're just getting started. So I'm a little bit behind you, and Dr. Summerton's a little bit behind me, and Tasha's a little bit behind me, and AJ's a little bit behind them. So we're all aging, but 65 is very young these days. Dr. Summerton, what do you think about this?
It is. Pelvic floor it doesn't really get talked about a lot as much as it should. But all the ladies out there, and even men that do Pilates, that seems to be one of the exercises that we talk about it more when we're strengthening the core and kind of squeezing those pelvic floor muscles. But it's also related, we talked about bladder control, bowel control. That's what it's in charge of. And so there's muscles around that area, and training those muscles properly, like she mentioned, with physical therapy and things like Pilates to help increase that. And I know we were talking about, we have our new nurse practitioner coming into our office a couple of times a month, and she actually has a therapy chair that you sit in, and it does help strengthen those pelvic floor muscles by contracting and relaxing. Just like any muscle, you need to work it out to keep it strong. A lot of women hear about it because the more babies you've had, the more chance you might lose control of that pelvic floor muscle. And so it's just something, I'm glad the caller brought it up. So it's something else we have to look at and be aware of.
I was just going to say, too, to prevent, I've had 3 surgeries in 8 months. And it's because my pelvic floor was so weak, and the prolapse that I had, it was just like this cascade. And it was very scary and very shocking to me. And so I'm just pointing that out. There is, again, with the body, it needs a balance. But as we go in to see you incredible doctors for eye exams, right? We go see our MD for a physical exam. We also need to see our PTs, our physical therapists, for a pelvic floor exam. They can actually do that with anybody at any age, pretty much, not necessarily the infants, and find out where you are.
Very good advice, Rochelle. That's something I think that's the first time we've talked about this in 33 years on the talk show.
It's actually super important. Yeah. It really is, because a lot of people don't talk about these types of things. So it's wonderful to bring it to the surface and actually get it out there.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah. And one last thing, too, is it is preventable. And you can go on YouTube and you can see, as you know, everybody's trying to play Dr. Google or play doctor, but it's really critical if you know where you are. Most insurance will cover a pelvic floor exam, and then you know exactly what you need to work on and don't work on. With my background, I always say to people, get your baseline test done. People go and start downloading, all this protein. Well, your digestion has to work with that. Your liver has to detox everything. Your kidneys have to filter everything. You go low and you go slow. And that's what I've done with the pelvic floor because, having 3 major surgeries and as healthy as I was, now I rebounded quickly. Okay. My surgeon and my GI docs were like, what are you doing? And I was like, all natural remedies. Because the antibiotics and everything that they want to put you on can really spiral you possibly into another direction, like SIBO.
Amen.
And then the other thing that everybody needs to look at too is anesthesia. I had anesthesia 4 separate occasions in 8 months. So what did that do to my body? It put me into methane SIBO, which is the small intestinal bacteria overgrowth.
Right.
Okay. And it's either, what do you do? I've got to have this surgery. I have a prolapsed organ. It's led to other complications. We've got to put you under.
Right. You got to figure out what the lesser of both evils are. And, the pros and cons of everything, what are the benefits versus the risks? But you have surgery, you got to have anesthesia unless we conk you on the head and you stay out for a while. So, Rochelle, thanks for the call. We're going to have to take some more calls.
Sure.
All right. Have a good one. All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. And if you got a question, give us a call at 813-282-8283. 813-282-8283. I think my wife, Tammy, is an expert in that arena of the pelvic floor. She's doing something called the rebounder now, and she does Pilates. And man, those things, that looks difficult. I just like going to the gym and push an iron. I think I'd die on a rebounder, and Pilates class would probably kill me.
No.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, before we take the next caller, be patient. We're going to talk a little bit about the skin. Dr. Summerton opened up the show talking about vitamin C in the skin, and especially since my brother's rebounding from melanoma surgery, we're going to talk about how vitamin C is so important, all right? Vitamin C, a lot of us are deficient in vitamin C, especially all of you, and not to knock the carnivore diet, that are on the carnivore diet. And a lot of you on the carnivore diet are watching me on this. And I like the carnivore diet, but it's got to be a modified carnivore diet because you are vitamin C deficient. So vitamin C promotes collagen synthesis. It accelerates wound healing, all right? And the thing I like, it evens the skin tone by inhibiting melanin production. So it provides antioxidant protection, UV damage defense, and it's essential for youthful, beautiful, young, healthy skin. Vitamin C can actually fade hyperpigmented spots, providing a more even skin tone. So not only is it keeping you from scurvy, vitamin C has also been shown to lower intraocular pressure, aid in neuroprotection of the optic nerve for glaucoma. But Dr. Summerton, I know me now, it's in my early 60s. I'm really a little bit more cognizant of what I do to try to keep, facial appearance is important. It really is, You don't want to look old and wrinkly and, spots everywhere. So vitamin C is something we can now add that has some legitimate science behind it, isn't it?
It is. And vitamin C is one of those very safe water soluble vitamins that you can really take in any dose. You can go pretty high with vitamin C without having to worry about any side effects. And it is something we don't make in our bodies. So we have to take it somehow. If you need your fruits and your vegetables with vitamin C, peppers are actually high in vitamin C. We always recommend orange peppers because they're also good for the lutein zeaxanthin content. But it is, again, hard to get that much in your diet. And a simple vitamin C is pretty easy to take. And we know for the skin benefits, the gums, your dental health is good to take. But we were talking about a study that I looked at this week that we were talking about, and it was actually with glaucoma. Now, the study was done on animals, but it was interesting that vitamin C actually prevented the retinal ganglion cells loss and prevented that retina thinning that would normally occur with high intraocular pressure in glaucoma. And so it's another simple little thing that we can do if you've got a family history of glaucoma, especially a sibling. If you have a sibling with glaucoma, you are extremely high risk for glaucoma. If you've been to the doctor and we've looked at your eyes and you have a larger nerve, sometimes we refer it as a large nerve, a large cup that puts you at risk for glaucoma, it's a simple thing you can add into your diet, knowing that you're doing something proactive to prevent that loss of those retinal ganglion cells and that thinning that can be associated with high pressure glaucoma.
So we should all be eating the foods that are high in vitamin C and taking a vitamin C supplement, especially if you're on a carnivore diet, you're not going to be eating the vegetables. So take a good vitamin C. So Fortifeye has one, of course. We have the only time release. It's called Fortifeye Next Gen Vitamin C. It's 500 milligrams of a time released in microbeadlets. We're the first to use these microbeadlets, and has 3 studies proving it's an 8-hour absorption period. It takes 8 hours to absorb. So you have vitamin C in your bloodstream for 8 hours. So you have to take 3 a day. That's 24 hours of coverage. I've been telling patients to take these, especially when they're flying to Europe and places like that. Take 1 3 times a day, every 8 hours. And I've been getting a lot of feedback of these people not getting sick, not getting a virus after they're cruising, after they've been on flights, because now they're getting the time release vitamin C. They're having it in their blood the entire period of time, where if you take vitamin C, you're going to urinate most of it out relatively quickly, so you don't get that time release. Also, there was a study, we talked about this a few weeks ago, the Journal of Investigative Dermatology shows that vitamin C is directly involved in epidermal thickening. So thinning of the skin is aging of the skin, so it is literally helping to reverse aging of the skin. So think about taking a good vitamin C. Our Fortifeye Rejuvenate, we have liposomal vitamin C made here in America. Most vitamin C is also made in China. Liposomal vitamin C. And also for the skin, we have the hyaluronic acid. We have the rice ceramides. We have the marine collagen tripeptide and Dermaval, which is 9 superfoods in the Rejuvenate. So the Rejuvenate is also fantastic for the skin. And of course, our Fortifeye Focus, which is lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin, all 3 carotenoids, great for the skin as well. And the zeaxanthin has recently had some studies that have shown that zeaxanthin is very good in combination with immunotherapy. So now I started my brother on the Fortifeye Focus and Brain for the zeaxanthin. We'll find out when you get the biopsy back in about 10 days whether or not the melanoma had spread in the lymph nodes. And if so, he'll probably go on immunotherapy. And now studies show that zeaxanthin combined with immunotherapy is actually even more beneficial. So we'll obviously talk to the oncologist about that. All right. And you can get this information and see these studies at fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. The toll-free number for Fortifeye Vitamins the operators are answering today is 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. I know we're getting loaded up on the phones. I'm going to take your calls in just a second, but I just want to throw this in right now, especially if Tony's listening. Tony is a good friend of mine. He's been a patient of mine for years and a good friend. And Tony's he's called in this show numerous times over the years. He started his weight loss journey a few years ago. He was 520 pounds, folks. He's 6'5", ex-pro bodyguard. And he is now weighing about 270, 280. And so for those of you that don't believe it, the non-believers, you can go to the website, fortifeye.com, scroll down on the home page all the way to the bottom. You'll see before and after picture. One picture at 520 was sitting in a wheelchair, and now he's in the gym with pretty big muscles at 270, 275, 270, whatever he's at. And I got to tell you, my hat goes off to Tony. I'm super proud of him. I'm glad I was a part, and I am a part of his weight loss journey. He's much healthier. His hemoglobin A1C went from 14, 13, 12, whatever it was, down to 6. His diabetic retinopathy is improved. His glaucoma is improved. His, obviously his mental attitude is improved. He's on cloud 9. I'm sure his wife's happy about it. So he's lost significant weight, but you can see his testimonial. He did a really good testimonial. He said,
did.
I saved his life and saved his vision, which I appreciate that. Go to fortifeye.com and scroll to the bottom and you'll see a picture of before and after, and you'll see the testimonial. Also, it's on Dr. Lange, drmichaellange.com and langeeyecare.com. So it's all over the internet now. Thank you, Tony. And we're going to continue to help you. And like I said, we're going to be on Speedos walking down the beach next year looking good. All right, let's go to the phones. I think we've got Karen in Willings or Karen first. Karen in Williston. Karen, good morning.
Good morning. I have a question about my ophthalmologist said I had Demodex infection in the eyelashes. And he said I needed to keep doing the heat treatments and also prescribed XDemV. And he said that it would just keep coming back. Does XDemV finally get rid of it, or what's the story on that?
Right. So we usually prescribe Demodex Oost made by OcuSoft. It's on the website at fortifeye.com, and that's a tea tree oil derivative. And we scrub the eyelashes morning and evening, leave it on in the evening. And then when you're in the shower, take a washcloth and some soap, close your eyes and clean the lids really good too to get rid of the dead carcasses. And then the XDemV, we've used a lot. Dr. Summerton's used it a lot. It's a drop that actually kills these little varmints as well. And Demodex is basically a mite that hides in your meibomian glands and clogs the meibomian glands. And a lot of people that have chronic resistant Demodex, we will also do the OptiLight, okay? Because the OptiLight, this is IPL, intense pulse light treatment, is very effective. I mean, I've had some patients that have just had chronic Demodex for years and years. No matter what we've done, it's been sort of resistant, and they have a secondary dry eye because the meibomian glands are very clogged, not secreting the healthy tear film. When we do the OptiLight IPL, it disintegrates these little critters, and they're gone. And now I've got patients that are doing quite well. Their dry eye symptoms have resolved, much less likely to get styes and things and infections. So if you're still having issues, then consider the OptiLight IPL. Dr. Summerton was one of the first to use the XDemV, and you've gotten good results with a combination of all of this, haven't you?
I have. And if people are wondering the symptoms, it can be just your typical itchy, burning, gritty eyes, red, kind of crusty thickening at the eyelid margin, right where your eyelashes are coming out. When we look under the microscope, we can see sort of this cylindrical dandruff kind of at the base of the lashes. Also, dry eye and watery eyes is associated with it. If you're getting recurrent styes or chalazions, or you're losing eyelashes, or they're in the wrong direction, they're all symptoms and signs of it. But like our caller's asking, there are treatments that do kill the mites, but we have to go through the whole cycle where they lay eggs. And so when you're on things like Zemdevi, you have to take it for that full 6 weeks to go through the full egg laying cycle to kill the mite and the eggs. And so as a maintenance program, if we've done the Zemdevi and we've done the intense pulse light, that definitely gets rid of it. And to avoid it from coming back, we put people on the Optase tea tree wipes as just a general lid hygiene. And I generally tell my patients to be using those 2 or 3 times a week anyway, especially make sure you take all that makeup off at night before you go to bed as well. And if you're doing the extra eyelashes, you have to be really careful about that because we do tend to see more Demodex with that as well.
All right, Karen,
Wow.
thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. And Andy, hold on for a second. We'll take your call in briefly, but I want Tasha just to mention, if people have glasses that are out of adjustment and they didn't buy them from us, they can come in and we can adjust them right there at the Lange Eye Institute, right?
1,000,000%. Yes. 1,000,000%. A lot of times we have patients that'll come in, simply fell asleep with their glasses on, sat on their glasses, ran over their glasses, fell with their glasses, things like that. So 100% come in, doesn't cost a thing, redo your nose pads. A simple adjustment can make a huge difference in your vision.
Right. So come see Tasha at the Lange Eye Institute Optical. And we're going to take Andy really quick. He's going to have to talk very fast. Andy, good morning.
Good morning. As Tony Joseph would say, I am Fortifeye Fit. But anyhow, I love all your products. In fact, I'm going to come by the store today if possible. I wanted to ask, I've been ordering vitamin C, Dr. Lange, on the web, on Amazon or whatever, and it comes fat soluble. And your other doctor there, she mentioned water soluble. So I'll hang up and listen if you want to comment on any harm done ordering fat soluble vitamin C, and can it build up in my body?
All right, Andy, we're going to have to talk about that next week. Dr. Summerton, you guys say bye in 3 seconds.
Have a happy, healthy day, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right, we're out of here. Have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America.